Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're getting into something that, I think it's a paradox that trips a lot of people up in romance.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the big ones.
We're investigating what actually drives long-term romantic satisfaction, and specifically why the research from the last couple of years shows that getting a partner who is, conventionally super attractive.
A 10 out of 10.
Exactly. Why that sometimes leads to less fulfillment than being with someone who, maybe isn't a cover model.
It forces you to really rethink the entire meeting landscape, doesn't it? We have to go beyond that initial biological spark.
The looks, the status.
All those quick filters, yeah. The mission here is to get into the real machinery of what makes a bond last. We're trying to shift the focus from what secures the partner to what sustains the pleasure.
So what feels great 5 years in, not just 5 minutes in?
Precisely.
Okay, so let's set the stage. Attraction is, of course, really subjective. But the sources focus on what happens when you have a high mate value. You have options.
Right, whether that's from your looks, your resources, whatever.
And what the research suggests is that for those individuals, their preferences actually start to recalibrate over time. Physical appearance gets heavily discounted once a commitment is really on the table.
Yeah, that's the key. When you have high bargaining power, you'd think you'd hold out for the whole package, including top-tier looks.
You'd think.
But the data just doesn't bear that out. The balance shifts. What seemed critical in the first 6 months, it just falls off a cliff in importance after a couple of years.
So let's jump right into that, this core paradox. We need to establish this long-term hierarchy of what actually matters.
Okay.
We all know that physical attractiveness, what the researchers call phenotypic quality, is a huge initial filter.
It's incredibly powerful. It drives that first wave of sexual chemistry, gets your foot in the door, so to speak.
That's where the conflict comes in, right? Because that same quality, that phenotypic quality, it's rarely the top driver for actual sustained happiness.
Not at all. And we have to be really clear about what mate value, or MV, means here. It's not just one thing.
It's multidimensional.
Deeply. It's looks, sure, intelligence, status, but it also crucially includes things like dependability, emotional stability.
It's soft skills.
It's absolute bedrock. And the sources show that high MV women who can be really selective, they practice something called temporal discounting of physical traits.
Temporal discounting. I love that term. What does it mean in practice?
It just means they're willing to make a trade-off. They'll accept, say, fewer points on looks if the long-term outlook is way better in other more critical areas.
Because they intuitively know those other areas are where daily happiness comes from.
Exactly. They value future tranquility more than present flashiness.
Which brings us to what the research calls the big three, the traits that actually predict long-term marital satisfaction. What's at the top of the list?
Okay, so the biggest slice of the pie, anywhere from 30 to 55% of the weighting for satisfaction, goes to behavioral indicators.
And the top ones are?
Kindness, emotional stability, and dependability.
And kindness is number one globally. I mean, that's just a staggering finding when you think about how modern dating works.
It is, isn't it? Kindness is the ultimate shock absorber for the stresses of life.
Yeah.
It's about assuming good intent.
And emotional stability, I think that. It's about minimizing the negatives.
That's the perfect way to frame it. It reduces the daily stress. You get less arguing, less jealousy. If your partner is predictable and calm, you spend less energy bracing for the next crisis.
So you're not maximizing excitement, you're minimizing chronic emotional drain. That's a huge shift.
It's a profound shift. Next up, with a weighting of, say, 30 to 40%, you have extended phenotypic traits.
Okay, so if phenotypic quality is the cover model,
then extended phenotypic traits are the things that signal long-term investment. So social status, ambition, the potential to acquire resources.
the good provider signal.
Basically, yeah. And women consistently prioritize these things over just looks when a real trade-off has to be made for a lasting bond. They're looking for reliability, for effort.
Not just raw genetic potential. And that leaves way down at the bottom our initial filter, phenotypic quality. Looks.
It drops so much it accounts for maybe 10 to 30% of long-term satisfaction, and that's only after a certain minimum threshold is met.
So it's a luxury.
The sources literally call it a luxury. And here's the absolute key to the paradox. Study after study shows that a woman's long-term satisfaction is not reliably predicted by her husband's looks. She might like it, but it doesn't really move the needle on her happiness. But for men, a man's satisfaction is significantly predicted by his wife's looks.
An asymmetrical finding.
Completely. And understanding that asymmetry is fundamental to this whole thing.
Okay, that sets us up perfectly. So if looks are a luxury item for a woman's long-term happiness, why is it that men who are less conventionally attractive often seem to make their partners, well, more pleased in the long run? What's the mechanism there?
The leading explanation is the compensation hypothesis.
Compensation.
Specifically, compensatory investment. It's all about asymmetrical effort. Think about it. If you feel you're lower in physical mate value compared to your partner,
You feel like you have to work harder to keep that.
you work harder. And that hard work translates directly into behavioral investment.
So if you can't win on the packaging, you have to completely over-deliver on the user experience.
That is a fantastic way to put it, yes. And that over-delivery, it shows up as better emotional support, more acts of service, really focusing on communication. These are inputs that directly boost daily satisfaction.
But wait, I have to ask, couldn't that lead to resentment? You know, the feeling of always having to work harder.
That's a critical question. The research suggests that because this drive is often unconscious, it's about securing the bond. It feels less like work and more like just necessary investment.
Oh, okay.
And this ties into a huge evolutionary trade-off: pair bond security.
Neat.
A super attractive partner, the one signaling peak good genes, they're often perceived, consciously or not, as having lower commitment. There's a higher mate poaching risk.
Right, so the partner has to live with this low-grade anxiety, this need for constant vigilance, mate guarding.
Exactly. It's a chronic mental tax. A partner with lower physical value, on the other hand, often provides more security, more predictability, and that reduction in anxiety and jealousy, it makes the relationship objectively more tranquil.
A peace of mind is the real compensation.
That's the ultimate payoff.
That makes so much sense. The hidden cost of dating a supermodel is the constant mental work. So this must be where emotional intelligence comes in.
It is relationship building, absolutely. High EI partners create more satisfaction because they're better at perspective taking, at de-escalating arguments.
They're just better at conflict.
So much better. The data is wild. High EI partners can cut the duration of the conflict by 40 to 60%. And they get better outcomes.
So you avoid that 3-day-long fight because someone knew how to really listen in the first 3 minutes.
You got it.
Yeah.
That reduction in what they call chronic friction is the hallmark of dyadic compatibility.
And that's about more than just EI.
Oh yeah. Dyadic compatibility is about similarity in your core values, your attachment styles. It predicts satisfaction more reliably than looks or even wealth. When your two systems are aligned, it just makes everything easier.
This is where things get really fascinating for me because the research is now connecting all these behaviors back to, well, to hard science, to neurobiology.
Yeah, we're moving beyond psychology here.
Let's talk about neural synchronization. What is that?
This is really cutting edge. Using EEG and fMRI, researchers have found that when really satisfied partners interact, their brain activity starts to synchronize.
Their brains are literally getting on the same wavelength.
Literally.
Yeah.
Especially in areas like the default mode network, which is tied to social thinking. This synchronization is an incredibly strong predictor of marital satisfaction.
You mentioned a number in the sources, a correlation of R equals 0.62. For anyone not familiar with stats, why is that such a big deal?
Oh, in the social sciences, an R value of 0.62 it's huge.
Yeah.
Anything over 0.5 is considered very strong. It suggests that deep compatibility isn't just a metaphor.
It's a real, measurable, biological thing.
It is. Your cognitive rhythms are literally falling into step, and when your brains are clicking like that, the surface stuff, like a perfect jawline, it just becomes noise. It's irrelevant to how you feel.
And that level of clicking, of synchronizing, must lead to the next concept, plasticity of perception.
Absolutely. This neurobiology validates the whole compensation hypothesis. It shows that attraction isn't static, it's dynamic.
It evolves.
It evolves. Things like kindness and emotional warmth, they trigger what's called an upward cognitive reappraisal of a partner's attractiveness. And this is often greased by the oxytocin response.
The bonding hormone.
Right. Your brain chemically rewards you for finding safety and consistency. So over time, your mind literally learns to see that reliable, invested partner as more physically attractive.
So what does this mean for you, the listener, trying to figure this out in the real world? How do you assess these less obvious traits?
The sources say the best way is self-reflection during what they call unguarded moments. You need real data from your own system. The question isn't, is this person impressive?
My question is,
The question is, Do I feel energized or drained after spending time with them?
Your personal energy level as a metric. That's brilliant.
If they consistently regulate your emotions, you feel energized. If you're constantly regulating their emotions, you will feel drained. Simple as that.
What else should people look for?
Look at how they treat people when they have nothing to gain from them. How do they treat a waiter, a janitor? That tells you more about their core kindness than how they treat you on a first date.
And in conflict.
Do they listen to understand you or just to defend themselves? These little behavioral tells, they speak volumes.
Of course, we have to talk about modern dating because apps, they seem to flip this whole hierarchy upside down.
They absolutely create an evolutionary mismatch.
How so?
They're built for rapid visual assessment. They force you to prioritize that 10 to 30% metric, the looks. It completely disrupts the natural, slow process of assessing the things that actually matter for the long run.
You're swiping on the least important data point.
You are. You're ignoring the traits that lead to that neural synchronization.
Yeah.
So to synthesize all this, long-term satisfaction isn't about getting the most impressive partner on paper.
The one with the best stats.
Exactly. It's about optimizing the whole package. The behavioral investment, the security, the emotional attunement. Your mind literally reweights what it values over time. It shifts from arousal and status
To security, predictability, and character.
That's the whole game.
So if you're making a list of what actually delivers, the research is crystal clear. It's kindness, which acts as a buffer. It's a sense of humor because that disarms tension.
Emotional stability to reduce that daily friction.
Shared values, which makes big decisions easy. And that calm, self-assured confidence that's so much more magnetic than physical perfection.
And that leads to a final provocative thought for you to take away from this deep dive.
Go for it.
The contribution of physical attractiveness to your long-term happiness will likely drop below 15% after a few years of commitment. So the real challenge isn't finding someone who's impressive to the outside world.
No.
The challenge is finding the person whose behavior, whose consistency, and whose commitment to growth allows you to feel the safest, the most seen, and to experience the deepest sense of tranquility in the relationship. That shift from valuing external validation to valuing your own internal security, that's the whole path. That is the ultimate path to long-term pleasure.